Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nova Tempest 4892 here. This is Tempest Telecast 3. Not going to be over an entire battle, just a section of it, but for some context, I am flying with F-22 Hunter here. I'm in a flight with him, as you can see. There are a total of 4 humans on each side in this match. The reason why I want to avoid breaking down this entire battle is because, well, not much else really happens that's worth dissecting here, apart from one specific section that I want to focus on with this, so that we can learn from it. Now, of course, due to the limitations of World of Warplanes' replay system, believe me, it's really limited. I'm not going to be able to do as much as I would like with these replays. Like, there's no free camera, there's very little I can do. However, I will try to make do with what I've got here, okay? So just bear with me. If the view angles aren't that great, blame the replay system, not me. The other caveat I have to add is that we weren't actually recording this battle. We had actually just done a whole truckload of recording just a battle or two before this one came along. So we were kind of checked out on recording. This happened and we were both like, crud, we should have been recording that. At any rate, folks, if you like this video, please leave a comment, hit that subscribe button if you're new. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. With that said, let's get started with breaking down what happens here. Right out of the gate, we're going to start with a little more context. Hunter and I have just secured the central mining plant cap in this battle. We have also bothered to clean house of any red that was still in the sector after we had flipped it. At this point, Hunter and I are now trying to look into a way to assert our control of the battle. I have been keenly observing my minimap to see what has been going on elsewhere in the match. That is when I recognize, hey, there's been a lot of activity going on in that southwestern garrison. Let's have ourselves a gander. So, I tell Hunter, because I'm in comms with him at this time, let's go over there and see what's what. So, even from all the way up here, looking down into that garrison, I can tell that there are 2 specialized aircraft at least inside that sector. So, probably a lot of humans in there. Let's get a closer look, shall we? Now I have positioned myself above these enemies to determine what I have to deal with below me. So, as we can see here, below me, I have not 3 enemy aircraft, but 4. 3 humans and 1 bot. 3/4 of the enemy players are over this sector, plus that bot. A 1v4 situation is pretty much unwinnable for a single pilot, unless you, by some miracle, pull something off. However, I'm not alone. I have Hunter with me in his own specialized P40. As we get ready to make an attack run, I have to make a decision. Who are we going to hammer first? And the immediate obvious answer is that Spitfire right there. That's a tier 6. We're in tier 5s. That plane could ruin it all. It can outturn both my aircraft and Hunter's. And that's assuming that we stick around long enough with these 2 other humans involved in the first place, plus that Focke-Wulf bot, which, who knows what that one's going to do. My preferred outcome is I wipe this Spitfire out in one pass, though I doubt it's going to happen. I tell Hunter, we need to get rid of that Spitfire first. He agrees. We have come up with our plan. Now, it's time to execute. Coming into this engagement, just because we have a plan in hand, doesn't mean we won't have to change it as the situation develops. We have to take a second stock of our situation here. Firstly, the air defense aircraft have just spawned in this sector. They could also pose a problem. We have to keep that in mind. Next, the Focke-Wulf bot, the one I was worried about, is actually facing away from me. His tail's pointed at me. That means I have a window of time before that aircraft is able to wheel around and do anything. As for the other 2 humans on the other side, they're not slouching around. They know we're here. They knew pretty early on we were here. The first one to notice us was that LAGG right there, who's pointed right at me. I will have to be a bit squirrely to shake him off and throw off his aim. He isn't alone in that either. The P-40 also has his attention squarely on me. They both are going to go after me, while I am going after the Spitfire. This means that I have to maximize my shots on the Spitfire, while also making sure I don't waste time, because the more time I waste, that's more time for this P-40 and this LAGG to shoot at me and cause damage. The X factor, however, here is in fact Hunter. He is indeed the linchpin to what happens. Depending on what he does, the LAGG and the P-40 may likely react to him, especially if I play my hand correctly and am able to shake both the LAGG and the P-40 off their aim. As planned, Hunter is also firing at the Spitfire. Let us see what emerges from this. The opening move has been made, and the enemy players have responded. Our main target, the enemy Spitfire, has been reduced to half of his hit points. That's good. However, it's not my optimum outcome. In the meantime, the enemy P-40 has shifted targets, now focusing on Hunter, who has actually intersected the path of the P-40 and the LAGG to get to me. So he's cut them off and forced their attention onto him. That lag, though, speaking of, has still not broken off of me and is still pointing square at me. He is likely expecting that the P-40 on his team has my friend Hunter covered. So he is free to engage me as much as he pleases. And finally, that damn Focke-Wulf bot is still on a turn. He's just starting to finish it to point himself at us. So now I have to worry about avoiding his line of fire as well. This has now devolved into a full-on dogfight, in its purest form, survival of the fittest. Time for me to shift tactics. In this kind of a dogfight, it does not matter what plane is in front of your firepower. You need to fire at it and damage it. The more you can damage it, the more likely it is that someone with you is going to be able to finish them off. And I put a wallop on that P-40 as a result of that tactic shift. As I have anticipated, that Focke-Wulf 190 has now turned on me and has begun to fire at me. The Spitfire, on the other hand, is making a loop away from me to come under and likely either engage me or get on Hunter. Yet what none of them are accounting for is that I have just popped a pneumatic assist. Timing with these dogfights is crucial, and using a consumable at just the right moment can flip the script on any dogfight, and I felt this was the moment to use it. You can also tell here that Hunter is also sensing blood in the water. Once again, our firepower will be converging on that Spitfire, while we have the chance to knock him out and deal a heavy blow to their chances. Let us now observe some butcher's work. The Spitfire is now out of the question. It is now just the P40, the LAGG, and the bot Focke-Wulf. If anyone here has popcorn, now would be the time to get it out, because what we're about to see is some very fancy flying. Quick setup. Right there. Here is the climax of our fairly hefty dogfight. The P40 has once again locked onto me. However, the LAGG, on the other hand, is still maneuvering, trying to get in position. The bot Focke-Wulf, on the other hand, has apparently decided he's had enough of this spat and is basically flying away. He is now removed from the equation. That just leaves 2 on 2. I still have that pneumatic assist burning for an additional 3 seconds. I can, in fact, capitalize on this 3 seconds, even though it's just 3 seconds, in order to get into a position to catch the P40 completely off guard. And I'm not the only one with designs here. Hunter has decided to lock on to the LAGG3. He will be using his own pneumatic assist. In fact, I'm not sure, but I believe he's already popped it at this point, in order to position himself against that LAGG3 and get rid of him. The result is a beautifully choreographed, near simultaneous kill instance, as you will see here in just a moment. I initially tried to go after the LAGG3 and blap him a bit in order to make life easier for Hunter. However, I am unable to get inside the LAGG's turn, so instead I shift immediately back to the P40. Hunter gets the lag. I bag the P40 immediately afterwards. And that was only from my perspective. I also have Hunter's. Let's take a look. He pops his pneumatic assist right here, uses it to quickly implement turn on the lag. Booyah! So to break down what just happened, maneuver-wise, what we did was essentially diagonal Immelman turns. Well, more accurately, pseudo-Immelman turns. God damn, Immelman is so hard to say in a sentence without butchering it. I will admit, I had to look at this replay several different times to really get a feel of what we actually did maneuver-wise, so that I could actually try to describe it in a way that made sense. It actually got so convoluted that I decided to record the flight path I and Hunter actually took during the dogfight. Now, this is going to be a little small and possibly tricky to see, but I will highlight when it shows up. I do apologize in advance if you have to squint quite a bit, but without further ado, here we go. The best way I can describe from the map how we flew was that we ended up doing S maneuvers in mirror. So I did an S maneuver one direction, he did it the opposite direction, and we ended up overlapping one another at least twice. We might have done it more. And coincidentally, that was just what we needed to deal with these two human players. So I'm going to have to give my hats off to F-22 Hunter there, because holy moly, that was the closest I've ever seen to synchronized aeronautics in World of Warplanes, and that was just too beautiful of a moment to not analyze, and I hope you folks enjoyed that to the best of the ability I could view it from two different replays. Again, blame how Warplanes' replay system works. At any rate, that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you beautifully orchestrate a dogfight with multiple players involved. Not just bots, but humans. And that is how you turn up the winner in such a scenario. You identify the biggest threat, you coordinate to down the biggest threat, and then you work your way down the chain from there, while also keeping in mind the environment around you, the combat situation, outside influences, other things. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes Tempest Telecasts 3. I hope you all enjoyed. Please comment, like, subscribe. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out till then.